What happened, Mr. Drifter?
This is the Interclub Championship. 4 clubs standing toe-to-toe, fighting for supremacy in one of sim racing's greatest battles. Fargon Racing, they lead the series, setting the pace, setting the standard. AK Racing, they chase relentlessly, waiting for their moment to strike. GT Club, third on the ladder, hungry, dangerous, still capable of changing it all. And Oz New Zealand, fourth, but unshackled, unpredictable, with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And tonight, their Coliseum is Sydney Motorsport Park, a real track, a real test, where speed and bravery are pushed to their very limits. The fast straights, where courage is measured in fractions of a second, sweeping corners that test commitment like nothing else, and technical sections that punish hesitation but reward perfection. Sydney Motorsport Park doesn't just demand skill, it demands soul. This is not just another race. This is a trial of endurance, of nerve, of sheer willpower, a stage where mistakes are magnified and triumphs are immortalized. 4 clubs, 1 track, 1 chance to etch their name into the history of the Interclub Championship. This is sim racing at its very best. This is where legends are made. This is Sensational TV.
Oh yeah, what an intro there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. What a fantastic intro there from the man Lindsay. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to him later. Welcome to Sensational TV. I'll tell you what, it's been a flustering little afternoon to bring you up to speed. But we are the undisputed home of Australian sim broadcasting, and strap yourselves in because you heard it all here first. It is the grand finale, the final showdown, the last tango in cyberspace. It's the Interclub Championships tonight. After 4 weeks of bumping, bashing, drafting, and downright desperation, it all comes down to this: the mighty Fargon Racing holding their lead, the hot favourites. They're but snapping at the heels of AK Racing, and I tell you what, they've brought out the big guns tonight. It's the Gen 3 Supercars. They're bread and butter. So, as Cobalt Racing says in the chat as well, no excuses if they don't get 1 to 8 here. But I tell you what, Steve-O is on top of the championship and really upsetting the apple cart there in the final practice times as well. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, sorry about that. It's my literally eating my dinner as we speak, so it's all happening here at Sensational TV. I am your host, your narrator, your guide through this madhouse. Mudflat Munro is my name. Still battling the lingering effects of the man flu, but I'm getting there on the better side of things. And joining me tonight, as always, is the man, the myth, the MasterCard. Yes, folks. It's Lindsay Mastercard Muddle, a commentator so well funded by his parents that every time he upgrades his sim rig, the Nasdaq takes a dive. So get on to that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's if sim racing had a championship for reverse parking in the pit lane, this guy would be the go. But here he is tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Lindsay Muddle joins me in the commentary box for the final round here at Sydney Motorsport Park in the Gen 3 Supercars. What are your predictions tonight, Lindsay Muddle? It's going to be a cracking round of racing.
Yeah, look, I mean, AK Racing obviously should have the chokehold. They developed this car. This is where they tested the car. This track is where they developed the entire thing.
That's true.
And now they are here and they chose it as the final round to try and topple Fargon. But the important part is only the top 4 drivers of their team take home the points. So even if Fargon finish a bit behind them, if they're still ahead of the other clubs, it shouldn't be too much of an issue and they'll still get their points for their highest driver, second highest driver, etc., etc. So there's still the opportunity for Fargo not to have any problems. But I'll tell you what, Stephen Rees, I'll tell you, he has done quite a lot of laps. I've heard it might be in the hundreds, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you the hot tip.
Yeah, so I've been privy to the information. Steve Rees has done at least 400 laps out there in practice, so certainly well prepared. 400 is quite a few if you want to do the math, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 1:30 around this circuit. Times that by 400. I'm no Albert Einstein out there, but I can tell you what, that's equates to a shitload of time and laps and effort put in. So we're hopefully going to see the best of the best. But Stephen Rees is the championship leader so far, and you can trust me on that one. We've been very slow in the time departments here at Sensational TV, but what we can deliver is the Interclub Series team standings. Fargon Racing right out in front there, 294, plays the 256 of AK Racing. So not far behind, but I tell you what, I don't know if there's enough points on offer for AK Racing to take this out. They really need to probably finish top 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and hopefully have Fargon finish outside the top 10, I believe. We might get the actual sums and math on that during the race, because we do have an hour race coming up with a 15-minute qualifying session as well. So we will by the end of the night find out whether Fargon can put the nail in the coffin of the so long and the reign supreme of AK Racing, at least in the, around the traps. People know AK Racing for their pace. But in this series, they've had their pants pulled down, at least so far, Lindsay Muddle, and they've really got a mountain to climb here tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, you would expect all their pace to return. They are super pacey in their cars, but you don't really see them race anything else. So then when we had this championship, all these different cars, you would expect them not to quite be as on point as usual. But now they're in their cars with their setups, their knowledge, their experience, their wheel time in these vehicles, and now it's all going to be all out, flat out for them. And I think that the man who will stand out for AK Racing tonight will be Zach O'Reilly, but you definitely can't discount Alex McEwen or anybody in the rest of that AK team. You've got the likes of Nick Mello, Gray Ward, and Matthias Falzon as well, Jason McFadden, Dean Hanley, Nathan Hughes, everybody, right? They all have heaps of seat time behind the wheels of this Gen 3 supercar. and now they're going to be on the spot as Zach O'Reilly seems to have taken a tumble on the outlap.
Yeah, we've missed the first 5 minutes of qualifying. The guys are in front of schedule, which is, well, to go against the grain of how we've been running this series so far. But there's still 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Steve Rees has actually just pipped Zach O'Reilly for the top spot on the qualifying tower. What about that? Stevie Rees, he's never driven the Gen 3 before, but he's absolutely owning the qualifying session so far in the Mustang by the looks of it as well. And what a nice looking Mustang there as well. The 01, he's got the 6 on the side. 01 is the interactive positional thing on the front there. You can see that is where he stands at the moment. Number 6, Reese, out there in front by about 24 thousandths of a second to our sensational TV commentary and co-owner here is Zach O'Reilly. So he's obviously pushing it to the limits here. There you can see how far he just took that turn 1. And certainly pushing it to the limits. It's 8 minutes to go, Lindsay, and we've got McEwen, Mello, Falzon, and
Oh, there it goes.
Madretsky in the top 6 already. You asked me in the pre-show how long it was going to take before I doxed him, and that was even before I thought. Gee whiz.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The ball has been dropped back from Munro, but I'll tell you what, it's not the only thing he's dropped. He's dropped his liquid in between his keyboard.
Yep.
He spilt a lemonade, and it went all throughout his brand new shiny keyboard. So that is the organisation skills here in the commentary box of Sensational TV. He showed up probably 5 minutes before we had to start broadcast.
I just got home.
That is the way it goes here, ladies and gentlemen. And we were running against the grain. Normally, we're the ones early, and the series is the one running late. Today, AK have run early, we're running late, we're in manic state, but we're here for qualifying. And the driver that you would expect to be up there, but not ahead of the likes of O'Reilly or Alex McEwen, is sitting there right out front, already showing that he's not to be messed with. And I'll tell you what, I was speaking to him, and he said he absolutely loves this thing. It's fun to drive. So maybe, just maybe, it's something that he might not have tried yet, but he might be well enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the kind of driver that can adapt, and we've seen that all throughout this series. We've had 3 very different kinds of cars going into each round, and this one caps off a quadruple kind of different vehicle. This one, no downforce really when it comes down to how heavy these cars are, and a hell of a lot of horsepower. So really got to be gentle on the rear wheels when it comes to exits out of any of these slower turns, even in the faster turns, to be honest. You really got to be gentle on the pedals, the inputs, the brake pedal as well. No ABS in these cars as well, so we'll get to know how good these guys are. There's a car off there in the background. I'm not too sure who that was as well, but I know a lot of these guys don't drive these cars all the time, so it will be a very much an adjustment for some of these guys coming into it. But this man out in front certainly needs no adjusting time, but maybe 400 laps worth. But I'll tell you what, he's just weaving in and out to get those tyres up to speed. So we're gonna ride on board with the man. And Lindsay Muddle, maybe you can take us through a lap of this non-fictional circuit here in down there in Sydney's West, one of the best circuits in the country. Let's go for a hot lap of Sydney Motorsport Park, thanks to Steve Rees on board.
Yep, so heading into turn 1, a fast left-hander on the brakes though there for Stephen Rees. Get it across to the apex. He's a little bit wide of it, but then power out as early as you dare. Bring it out to the curb. Braking now at the 100. Do not lock up in these Gen 3 cars. You will go straight off into that tyre wall in front of you, and then double apex the corner. A little bit slidey there from Stephen Rees, but nothing to be concerned about. And then a lift now through the long right-hander, and now set up turn 4, a sweeping right-hander. Dab the brakes, sweep it through. The car will understeer just a little bit, but you've got to get it back across. Steve-O does superbly, and he's already purple in the first sector, looking to improve on his 29.7 as he hooks it through the left-hander, and now making his way into what is another of the sweeping left-handers, but more 90 degrees. Then sweeping for this one, and then power it out over the crest. This one is a sweeper. Just a dab of the brakes, sweep it through. The downforce or limited downforce on these things really struggle to get the car through the corner and then into the hairpin. This is where we'll see a lot of dives come race time, and now the run up towards the tricky final 3 corners of the circuits. Turn 9, 10 and 11. Just brake as late as you dare, hook it over the curb, tag the curb onto the inside, and then you can take it all the way out there on that grey concrete and then power it out of the final corner. A very late apex there for Stephen Rees as he wants to maximise his run through the line. He currently has a 29.777. What does he have to do now as he crosses the line?
Oh,
it's going to not be an improvement after a purple sector one.
Just gave it all back there in the second sector, it seems. Just could not hold the pace, but as you can see, going through turn 1 very, very hastily as well. It looks like Omet Ohm has improved her time up there to 6th position as well, holding, flying the Fargon flag as well. Bully boys there on the old livery station. I don't know what that is. Fastest bullying theory. So maybe something there. The chat can inform us in on that. But looks like both the Fargon cars up there in the top 6.
McEwen.
Yeah, Alex McEwen has just gone bang by 2/10 as well, taking the provisional pole position off Stephen Rees, and rightfully so, as we've seen in the chat there. Everyone sort of knew this round was coming. Gen 3 supercars are the bread and butter of AK Racing, so they rightfully should be at the top. But I tell you what, Steve Rees upsetting the apple cart at the moment. Let's find out. Let's go actually down the field a little bit here. We saw Andrew Long a couple of rounds ago actually put in a fantastic performance when he did come out, and now he's been brought out of the woodwork again, now this time for the Gen 3s. And in the 33, the bright pink, you cannot miss that car. Jesus Christ, look at the rims as well. They've got them going bright pink as well.
Looks like a donut rim.
Yeah, it's just
until he slows down.
It's like one of those cyclists' rims there when they're doing the time trials with the flat matte plastic that they're going around.
Or the indoor NASCAR biking.
Exactly, that's what it is. I wonder what maybe he's taken a bit of inspiration there off the cyclist.
Yeah, maybe so. And I think the supercars have got all the hallmarks of the NASCAR as well. So maybe he's taken it from the indoor NASCAR biking. I don't know what it's called at all, but that is what I've deemed it here on the spot. But 2 minutes to go here in qualifying. Alex McEwen out in front. What does Longy have to do here? He currently sits P12.
Ooh, goes up.
He does improve up to 8th, but still he's got more time to find there. But 8th, not bad at all. But I'll tell you what, the only thing that is making it a little bit tricky here tonight to track the points and who is where is the fact that every single car on the timing tower shows AK Racing.
Yeah, very hard to get that, those logos into the cars. They were encrypted, so we could not do much here in the commentary box. So, as it seems, on the timing tower, it says every car is from AK Racing. That is just the makers of this car, the drivers themselves. We're just going to have to sort them out over the course of this evening. Lachlan Grant, I think, is it looks like he's driving in a GT Club livery, so he's hopped the fence there, has Lockie Grant, and lent his services to the GT Club team, I suppose, for this one in the 261, and the iconic zebra-style tiger liveries of the GT Club, which we've been so accustomed to over the last 3 rounds, making it look good up there. And I think he is the second driver on the grid, or at least on the timing tower for GT Club at the moment. So go Lockie Grant, getting out there for another club and doing his new club proud, I'm sure. Maris Linux, the operating system here for Fargon Racing in the Super as well. I'll tell you what, I think there's a fair few Supras out there on circuit. I'm pretty sure the
whole Oz New Zealand is identical Supras.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you'll see there, Anderson. There is a whole team of Supras, so we'll be able to distinguish them quite comfortably. But there's 5 seconds left in qualifying. Zach O'Reilly's in the pit lane. So that's his session done when it comes to improving. What about Stephen Rees and Alex McEwen? Where are they sitting out on the track in the battle for pole? Stephen Rees heading through the hairpin. What about Alex McEwen? Where is he about in the lap here? Alex is heading through the left-hander of, turn 7? Turn 6. It was turn 6. He's now heading into turn 7, and then they're set up for turn 8 at the hairpin. He's got a couple green mini sectors, but nothing lighting the timing tower on fire. But he's already got provisional pole, so he doesn't have to be too stressed. Steve-O's already hit the checkered flag. He's not going anywhere. Matthias Falzon in 4th, one of the only other cars still on a flying lap. And he's heading out of the final corner, and it is looking like he's not going to improve. He's currently done a 30.1, but it's not a lot of green on the mini sectors as he heads up towards the line. It's going to be a 30.2. It's not going to be an improvement. What about McEwen? Doesn't look
pulls
like
it into the pits by the looks of it. Yeah, he's just aborted that lap. So McEwen will take your provisional pole in this final round of the Interclub Championship. Let's find him on the timing tower. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the red and black. Very nice car indeed, looking beautiful with the yellow trim as well. Alex McEwen takes first blood in the final round of the Interclub Championship, but nothing is qualifying when it comes to a 60-minute race, because strategy plays into this one as well. They do have a pit stop coming up. Whether they have to change compounds or not, I'm actually not too sure. I'm sure they do. That might be one of the...
It's a mandatory for fuel or tyres.
Okay. So, obviously, fuel will be needed, because I don't think these cars can go an hour without refueling. So that is, I guess, something up to the driver themselves or the team, in fact, whether they come in for fuel and tyres. But knowing this game, you can get away with about a 28-litre refill while still being able to change the tyres. So I hope all these guys have done their research into how far they can take a full set, or a full tank of fuel, because they'll certainly be coming in for a new set of boots, because I don't know if even the hard tyre can go that far, 60 minutes, especially around this circuit. It's very demanding on the tyres, especially the right-hand side. With the first turn, is a very high speed, very high load on the right-hand tyres indeed. So we'll see all these strategy plays come to light just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we have to add here, Lindsay? I think it's going to be just a consolidation night for Fargon, whether they can just finish themselves as far up as the order as possible to break the AK dominance that will probably happen in this round. As we said, it's their bread and butter, these cars, the Gen 3s. So hold on to your hats, folks. What do we think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm being kept guessing here. Steve-O's splitting the P1 and P3 cars, but Alex McEwen was pretty much exactly 2/10 clear of Stephen Rees. But Zach O'Reilly sitting in third, we also know that he desperately wants to beat Stephen Rees. So I would expect something interesting off the lights heading into the first lap. But yeah, Sydney Motorsport Park is absolutely electric when it comes to racing and the ability to overtake. So one thing's for sure is that we're going to see a lot of overtaking, a lot of movers, a lot of shakers. So strategy isn't going to be the only component here. It's how quickly you can get through the field if you haven't had a good qualifying.
Yeah, and whether you can keep the car on the circuit. Once the tyres start to degrade, these cars behave very differently.
Don't drive.
Yeah, very differently than they do with a fresh set of rubber on. So that will be another hurdle for these drivers to overcome, especially the ones that aren't used to it. So the guys in Oz New Zealand GT Club, Fargon Racing, even though they've done a fair few practice laps, how many races have they done?
A whole season.
No, exactly, or multiple seasons in these cars anyway. So it's they're up against the 8-ball here tonight. But certainly everyone in the chat has their preferred club that they're cheering on. So get involved in the chat, ladies and gentlemen at home. Tell us who you're barracking for here in the final round and who can take it out, because it is going to be electric. I think the guys are just about set on the grid as well for race 1. So we are about to take a short break and a few words from our sponsors, SDT. So ladies and gentlemen, take a little break. We're going to be back very shortly with all the action in race 1, so do not go anywhere.
SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customisation for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customisation for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customisation for driver training. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features.
Back down on the circuit, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost ready for a start here in race 1. Got a couple of minutes to go. Alex McEwen off the front row. Steve Reese joins him there with Zach O'Reilly, the man, the myth, the legend in the bright pink. There off the second row, Nick Mello joins him for 8K Racing and Matthias Falzon. But behind them, there is a bit of an 8K drought as well. We've got Omet Ohm for Fargon. We've got Lachlan Grant for GT Club. Drav Madretsky as well in the Supra. Look at that thing. Absolutely gorgeous. And Andy Long there as well in the Fargon Racing. So, an equal amount of Fargon and AK up there in the top 10 with the Linux, the old operating system there. Maris doing a great job there in 11th position. Nick Nitro held the top position in practice here at the start of this session for quite some time. But ladies and gentlemen, the lights are up and we are ready for a start here for the final round. Remo Grand chucks in a fiver. Thank you very much, mate. Let's go racing here in the final round of the Interclub Championship, and the lights are out, and Alex McEwen gets a pretty good start, but Steve Reese is not going anywhere. Look at the start from Nick Mello there. Look at that, straight up on the inside, and cuts off Zach O'Reilly on the run down into turn 1. Steve Reese just has to make way for him as well, but these guys are going to battle it out into turn 1. Look at into turn 2, should I say. Nick Mello, fantastic start. Steve Reese goes long there, very deep into turn 3. There goes Zach O'Reilly up into P3. Steve Reese just gets back on the circuit, and hastily done because Falzon there was ready to strike. Omet Ohm stays in 6th position with Lachlan Grant just behind her, and look at that, Madretsky making a move up the inside of Nathan Hughes down there at turn 5. That's a fantastic job there from Vlad in the Supra. Perfect driving there on the opening lap. That's what you really want to be, is a little bit aggressive but very calculated in that move. Here comes Matt Double as well, looking up the inside there of Jason McFadden. Probably can't get that job done as Gray Ward is circulating down there in 14th position, but here's Jason McFadden. Let's ride on board with him because he just got his pants pulled down by Matt Double down there through that little section. A perfect opportunity for Double, but that is almost half a lap done already, and the action is kicking off up the front. Omet Ohm on the back of Matthias Falzon, and geez, that's close racing there from the Bully Boys, number 86. Let's ride on board, Lindsay Muddle. That's an eventful opening lap, and everyone's kept it nice and mean and clean.
Yeah, not Fargon. AK did exactly what they needed to do. They got the place off of Stephen Reese. and then managed to pick up a few places there on the opening lap in the further back cars. So this is now really putting the pressure onto Fargon Racing. Steve-O will need to get a shuffle on. Zach did a brilliant move up the inside here at turn 2. That's a very, very stray Nick Nitro here for Oz New Zealand, nearly spinning the car there at turn 1. A very good save, and he's on the back of Andrew Long. So this is just really early days stuff. These cars are going to stay in a train, but also they're going to separate into different trains. The different levels of these drivers here in these cars is really going to be noticeable. I think we're going to see a lot of different trains with a lot of different people, and it's really going to paint the picture of how this race is going to go and where drivers are sitting in the table. As you can see, a few drivers trying to show the nose, force mistakes, but I'll tell you what, Nick Mello has absolutely flown into the distance, 2.7 seconds clear of even Alex McEwen. He got the best start of his life, and he'll know that, and he's going to want to use it. And also, Stephen Risto, 3/10 underneath Zach O'Reilly's rear wing with a 1.2 second gap to Falzon behind, with Ohm trying to help alleviate the pressure from Stephen Rees. So Fargon, with the minimal numbers they have here up the front, they're trying to slightly work together, but Steve-O still has a lot of work to do here. Ideally, he'll at least want to get Zach O'Reilly, but really, he'll want to get Alex McEwen as well. I think Nick Mello, though, is just going to be out of touch.
He started the race, and only one of 2 or 3 cars that I can see. Yeah, he started on the softer compound, so making hay while the sun shines as well, and that's probably what he needs to do, because I think the soft tyres probably only last, 7 or 8 laps at most before they start to die off in a big hurry. So we'll see how this this alternate strategy plays out for Nick Mello, but so far it's worked out well for him, because he did get the cracking start off the line and managed to gather up McEwen and O'Reilly really quickly. Whether that was probably a bit of team orders there as well. I think they knew that Mello had started on the softs, and Alex probably just sidestepped in there and said, you know what, go ahead and put in those fast laps while you've got the rubber underneath you. So a really nice and smart manoeuvre there by AK Racing. So they've done their sums. Oh, geez, Zach O'Reilly just missing the concrete barriers there on the outside of turn 6. Very dicey stuff. He's maybe half looking in the mirrors there. You can see he just went maybe half defensive as well, with Stephen Rees giving him very much the hurry up here. We're going to ride on board with Stephen Rees and see if he can make any sort of move on, we could say, his adversary here in this series.
There's been a lot of talk between these two over the months. Not even during this series, but before it as well. But now it all comes down to this. We've seen what happened at the Mills Metro Park, so Zach has a lot of talk to back up here.
Yeah, I tell you what.
He'd want to win this one, but I think it's all banter at the end of the day. Friendly rivalry has never hurt anybody until they crash on the track, which has not happened yet. But there's the commentator's curse button waiting to strike. But Ohm at Ohm, waiting in the wings there, so close to Falzon, but I thought there would be, honestly, a little bit more free overtaking in this race. We're not seeing too much yet, but that isn't for a lack of the ability. I think it's just people saving tyres. These cars are really brutal on tyres and really, really sensitive to any sort of lockup, so I think it's just a little bit of safety as Ohm doing what she does best, getting all of the smoke up in the air from the tyres. It's her favourite way of driving a car.
Yeah, we saw in the 86s last time out, that thing was sideways pretty much 98% of the time. So certainly an element here, because these cars do like to go a little bit on that slip angle there. If you can get the balance right, the balance point of that the right foot, you can really steer these things with the right foot. And look at this, the battle's on here up the front. This is the battle for P3, Stephen Rees, and Zach just going a little bit wide there into the hairpin. That's going to leave himself vulnerable now down into the third sector, but it's a very hard section to overtake through this little whoop-de-doo. It's really about just setting it up, getting it under the rear wing, and maybe not taking too much of that track as Zach has done there, and leaving himself maybe vulnerable on the exit. But very good on the loud pedal has Zach O'Reilly. He's one of the best when it comes to modulating that throttle to minimise the wheel spin down out of any sort of exit, of whether it be a fast or a slow turn. And Steve Reese just missing the apex there a little bit. But Zach O'Reilly giving it back on the exit there now, down into turn 2. Very heavy braking zone. A little bit of smoke there from Zach O'Reilly and a little bit of a touch there from Steve Reese too. A little bit of Shane Van Gisbergen up your bloody curry sauce there, he says. Have a go at that. But now this battle is right on here. Stephen Reese having a little bit of a look up the inside, locking up and almost taking out the back of Zach O'Reilly. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board here because he threw just about everything at the wall and nothing really stuck.
Yeah, that's probably his first time giving it a proper committed try at an overtake in this car. And that's what it does when you try to break even half a centimetre late. But I would love to take a look at his bumper. Does he still have the little the little logo that he had on the back of his back bumper?
Oh, let's have a look. It doesn't seem to be, not this time.
Just for context, in the 86s, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was a jab at Zach saying, it was something along.
See you later.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. And Zach never even got to see it.
No.
And this time around, I wonder if Zach's put anything cheeky on the back of his car.
We'll have a look there because the battle is heating up here down in 11th, 12th and 13th. We're on the board with Gray Ward. He's got Matt Double in front and Nathan Hughes as well for OK Racing there out in 11th position, and a little bit squirrely there from Matt Double out of the final turn. This is two Camaros versus a lovely Toyota Supra. We haven't seen these many Supras in the Gen 3. The last series that Sensational TV did broadcast, there was only one or two Toyota Supras there. But there goes Ward having a little dip up the inside. Oh, very narrowly missing contact with Matt Double. Geez, that must have been about a cigarette paper between both of those guys down into turn 2. But manages to just slot back in to single file, and these guys will battle it out again for the next lap. No harm, no foul yet.
Yeah, Ward, that was really committed and really close to an accident. They've got Hughesy in front of them as well, so that's an AK car, but I don't believe he's in the top 4 of the AK car, so it's not of too much significance. He's battling back here. That's late on the brake from Ward. Oh, there's contact there on the apex. Usual real-life V8 Supercar style there on the inside, much like echoing round 1 of this year in the V8 at Sydney Motorsport Park, actually, between the two Red Bulls and the Tickford racing car of Cam Waters. And we all know they love to get an elbow out, and now these boys are trying to replicate it. Unfortunately, not under the lights here for this one. I'll tell you what, we noticed that about 2 seconds before the stream because my little intro spiel had something about it being under the lights. But luckily, Chris Munro is a little bit more attentive than me and picked up on that one. But these boys racing here in the plain daylight for everybody to see, and they're absolutely giving it everything. They're up the front, 8.7 seconds clear, 6 laps in. Those softs probably still have another 2 laps of extra pace before they drop off. And the gap's really extending here. Look at the gap from Zach O'Reilly to, actually, where is Steve-O?
That's a good point. I cannot see him on the timing tower at all. Perhaps a pit stop or a bin of some sorts. But let's see if we can find him down here in the timing tower. I believe he's not in the server right now. What is going on? Oh no, there he is. He's in 4th position. We missed that.
Timing tower.
Timing tower. Doing timing tower things.
Break.
Yeah,
Holy
jeez.
mackerel. Heart attack moments here
I
for
know,
the championship.
tell you what.
Anyway, we continue on. Steve-O has fallen off the back of Zach O'Reilly about 1.8 seconds, and in fact, he's now under pressure from Matthias Falzon, who sits only 7/10 behind him. But this battle is closer. This is Nick Nitro versus Andrew Long and Drav Madretsky getting involved in the background, and they really don't have that big of a gap to Lockie Grant up the road, who is then on the back of Ohm. So it's a really big battle pack here in the mid sort of area, P6 and down, and it's not going to go down without a fight. I'm sure these boys are going to go hammer and tom, and this is going to be really interesting stuff, as Longy a little bit wide there on the exit, but just gave it absolutely everything all the way out to the grass, and it's actually ended up helping instead of hindering. I thought maybe the cut with the grass might have hurt him, but they're still going to be battling, but not wheel to wheel into turn 1. The gap just looming a little bit too large. What about further down though? I see Brent Matthews in a little bit of a fight there in 18th position. Oh my God, I remember the first name, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done.
It's a miracle.
Yes.
as they head through turn 1. It's looking like we could actually have a little bit of an Oz-New Zealand scrap here, and they have O'Neill, not that, the underwater mammal, there we go, just a little bit further up the road in 16th.
Yeah, you can see O'Neill there just on the back of him. Here's Brent Matthews, and closed right in there in that set of turns. And you can see the foreboding front of that Toyota Supra. Oh, geez, just very wide there through that section as well. Probably not going to help him, but he does make up the ground on the exit there. Wowee. We go through turn 5 and turn 6 here, which is notorious for some track cutting out there in the old pit lane. But they've, I think, with the aid of real penalty, there's you only get 5 trips out there before it makes you go through a little scenic route of the real pit lane. But look at this, Brent Matthews all over the back of Chris O'Neill here at the moment. We're going to go out the front of Brent Matthews' car to see if he can make up some space here and maybe force an overtake, because he's certainly got the pace here on Chris O'Neill. And as I say that, he's just taken the worst line you could possibly do through that section there and given up the ghost. Poor old Chris O'Neill just hanging on by a thread here at the moment. But if Matthews makes more mistakes like that, he can probably hang on a little bit longer than he likes. But let's look up the order again, because Gray Ward sitting up here in 12th position, doing a great job. He's got Nathan Hughes, his AK Racing teammate, up there by about, as we crossed to it, it was 4/10, but now it's gone out to about 5 or 6. So this battle is teetering on the edge of some kind of entertaining battle. Actually, it's all happening up the front here now. Omet Ohm has got Lachlan Grant on the back of her at the moment. Mustang v Camaro, as it should be. It used to be Holden, ladies and gentlemen. But look at that. There's a blue flag just getting out of the way and doing a nice job of it, as well as all these cars come streaming through. It's
look at those New Zealand cars. Oh wait, no,
yeah,
it's the lap.
One of the
they really crushed. I know it's a lap car, but
yeah,
holy mackerel!
Just
they were really going at it there.
Yeah, a little bit dicey. But as we've said in the past in this series as well, a few of these drivers probably not used to having 30-odd cars out there on the circuit as well. So when the blue flag starts to fly, maybe the nerves start to rise as well, because you've got possibly the top 10 of the grid coming through at a rate of knots. So hats off to all the blue flaggers out there tonight, doing a great job, and have done throughout the series.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to watch, and I'm sure that a few of these drivers have learnt a thing or two over the course of this championship, and that's what it's all about. Yes, it's about the competition, but it's also about the fact that the competition looms larger than most other things these drivers would be racing in, and it just gives people that experience in a bigger grid. But we're currently looking at Mitchell McPherson looking to make a move on Chris O'Neill, and in the run towards turn 2, he has a really good run off of turn 1, and he tries to dummy the nose, and that's a lock up there from Chris O'Neill, and it's very wide. Mitchell McPherson taking that opportunity, and he's going to clear the Aussie-New Zealand car, but now he's wide himself off of turn 3, and now here comes Chris O'Neill back up the inside into the sweeping turn 4, and now McPherson forced a long way round, and he's going to be shoved out, and a little bit of a snap to boot there pushes him back into position after the move looks signed, sealed, and delivered, and it all goes backwards there. And now, in fact, Peter Van Wingard looking to get his nose in potentially, as well as I don't even know, Alexandra. There we go. That's probably the way you pronounce that, Lindsay. You got there in the end. Yeah, James Alexandra looking to get involved in the background. This is a nice 4-car battle. It's into the hairpin. In fact, James showing the nose but not committing to anything, but he's all over the back of the Aussie-New Zealand car, and this is a really, really intense battle. But Nick Nitro as well, all over the back of Longy, and that's a big train as well, still going at it. There's so much racing as double goes on the in. Oh no. Yeah. Box. There we go.
Yeah, box. That will do it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go back down to this intriguing little battle here. There's an Aussie-New Zealand car nosed into the wall there. I wonder if that actually looks to be one of the back markers as well. So we will find out who that was exactly maybe later on. But it's too hard to take one eye off this little GT Club Aussie-New Zealand battle here at the moment. Peter Van Wingard does have the run down into turn 2. looks up the inside. McPherson going a little bit wide, leaving the door open. And Peter Van Wingard will just slot up in the inside there as well. But now, return serve goes McPherson. They will still go side by side down into turn 4. This is going to be hard to do with the outside run. But look at the pace that Van Wingard's shown here. Now dipping down into turn 5. A little bit of contact as well. But he says, get stuffed. I'm taking this position. And the two GT cars are going to have to sort themselves out now as the Oz New Zealand reigns supreme in this little battle.
Yep, that was an absolutely cracking bit of racing. I thought for sure they were both done through turn 5 when McPherson tried to chop the nose across, and they were absolutely side mirror to side mirror. In fact, I'm sure if that was real life, they both would no longer have a mirror on the side of their car. But they continue racing on here as Lockie Grant all over the back of Omed Ohm. That gap only 2/10 as they head towards turn 1. So this could be a little battle here between the GT Club and Farnborough Racing entries here for P6 and 7 as they're going to be battling in towards turn 2. Is Lockie Grant close enough to go up the inside? No, not quite, but so much going on as Omet locking the tyres and sliding all the way into the apex, and that was actually beautifully held and probably the deliberate way that she is driving it, knowing her, but definitely not the nicest on the tyres. It looks like a Shane Van Wisbergen Van Gisbergen victory lap. And I'm never going to live that one down.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's a Tokyo drift style here at the moment. And we saw that in the 86s. She would like, and she's certainly come to terms with the way these V8 supercars drive as well, just driving them on the back wheels, and why not? It's a bit of Daniel Ricciardo at the Red Bull Ring a couple of years ago when he was just flicking dirt up in the face of his adversaries behind. It's kind of the same thing. She's just flicking up the smoke out of every single turn and keeping Lockie Grant maybe visually restricted here at the moment, depending on what his settings are in game. But I know a lot of these races try to maximize frames, so there's probably no smoke coming out there. But speaking of smoke, that is an absolute murder we've caught there in 2K Live. Lockie Grant will have to redress that position, and it looks like he's just continuing on. Lachlan Grant, you know better than that, son. You need to give that position back. That is as clear as day. Murder in the first degree. But we're going to hold the camera on him just to make sure he gets this redress happen. Where are the stewards? Where are the race directors here? Omed Ohm just closing in now, and it looks like Lockie Grant just is letting that gap come back to the yellow car behind. We'll check back in with them later, because up in front, Stephen Rees has now just closed in that gap again, back to Zach O'Reilly, and this is going to be a battle for the ages. 40 minutes to go in this race, and I tell you what, I think this could be one of the battles that continues on raging throughout the rest of this race.
Yeah, this is personal between the two of them. This is absolutely fantastic, and definitely the feature fight if it were a UFC fighting night. And these two are going to be going at it hammer and tong here for the next 40 minutes. But there's also strategy still to come into it. With 12 laps into the race, Nick Mello would be having to think about boxing at some point soon, you would think. Those soft tyres not doing him a service anymore. But he is actually still pulling a gap to Alex McEwen. So maybe they have a little bit more life left than we've realised. But that's a swap there. Ohm and Lockie Grant, they finally swap around. As I'll tell you what, Chris, I was waiting for you to hit Lockie Grant with the Champ Street if he hadn't ceded the position.
May as well.
There we go. They swapped around.
There it is.
And yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Why not?
And that was a murder and a half going into the final corner.
He finally redressed it, but there's plenty more Champ Streets up the sleeve here in the commentary booth, so no one is safe here at the moment. But these two just now redressing the situation, and they will go racing once again. The gap up the front there between Stephen Rees and Zach O'Reilly still about 9/10, but yeah, as we just checked on the two front runners, they're still pulling about similar lap times. Last time around, Nick Mello, as you can see on your screens down the bottom, viewers, a 132.8 plays a 132.5. So I think that that tyre vector now just starting to swap over with the hards taking control, but I mean the soft tyre still plenty of pace in it, Lindsay. I thought maybe at least 5 laps ago that these would start to degrade a little bit, and you could see maybe Nick Mello just struggling a little bit with grip. but certainly a seasoned veteran in how these cars behave. So yeah, he's still probably chances his arm. But as I say that, he now pulls in 2 box for a new set of tyres. We're going to see where he comes out on the circuit. I'm tipping around where Drav is here at the moment, around about P8.
Yep, and I think you're right. The pit lane quite short here at Sydney Motorsport Park, and it's quite a nice facility. So unlike the Mills Metro Park, they won't be parking sideways, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, the FIA Grade 2 facilities would not stand for that if they had to park in sideways. But heading now in towards turn 1, I think you've absolutely nailed that there as they head out. No, looks like potentially P6 here. It depends on where is Longy in the grand scheme of things. He's absolutely nowhere to be seen, just in the back of the camera shot. So that is a beautiful stop there for Nick Mello, and actually I think that's going to play into his hand quite nicely. But he's on another set of softs. He's doing a 2-stop.
Wow. Yeah, I think he might be. And why not? He's just pitting himself into a bit of a gap as well. He's got, Falzon in front and, maybe 7 minutes to go before these guys on the hards probably start to think about coming in. And I think Falzon obviously on the AK Racing team, so team orders can just get him out of the way. And that's another 1.5 seconds up the road to Stephen Rees. So we might see Mello maybe just starting to pressure Rees by the time that Stephen Rees starts to think about coming into the pit. So, yeah, certainly an alternate strategy here. Soft 2-stop strategy. Ooh, these guys have obviously done their sum. Yeah, well, where are we up to here? 14 minutes. Another 14 gives you down to
20 to go. No, it'll be soft.
He might have to 3-stop it. That's going to be, or a soft hard at the end. But then again, why do that when you can just go hard? Because that's obviously what McEwen's doing now, and Mello's probably got a 4, 5, 6, another 10, 12 second disadvantage to him at the moment. So I guess, AK Racing covering their options with 2 of the fast guys going on different strategies at the moment.
Yeah, and they've probably done about 87,000 sets of simulations about what strategies. I'll tell you what, they literally develop the tyre wear percentages around this circuit. So they'll know exactly what they're doing here. Mm-hmm. They'll know what they have in the cards. And look at how quickly Mello's catching. It's undoubted. It's not a doubt in my mind that he'll catch and overtake Rees, O'Reilly, and even Alex McEwen, unless they box before he gets to them. But even then, the undercut is going to be so powerful. And I would imagine as well,
team orders
he's taking a little bit of fuel at a time, so he's running the car very light.
Yeah, certainly team orders being had there as well, with Falzon just side-swiping, jumping to the side, should I say, to let Mello through, and he's on fire as well. This will be a very fast lap from him, and then the next few will be pretty much qualifying laps from Nick Mello. We'll see how far he can get up the order when he needs to come in again, possibly in another 14, 15 minutes time, around the 20-minute mark. And you maybe think he could just pit for a set of softs and just run them all the way to the end. We're going to see how far he gets anyway, but the guys in front of him still need to make a pit stop, so they are still in the net, advantage so far. But I'll tell you what, Nick Mello just setting the fastest lap of the race as we speak, a 1:30.8.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying out there, and I'll tell you what, we might have a certain Mr. Britain doing the mathematics in the background live here, potentially for some live standings. However, I'm working on that because I think he might be busy with court. So I'm not entirely sure, but he has given me a response, ladies and gentlemen, so we might have a bit of an update. So yeah, a couple of cars flying around there at this track at the moment. 34.5 minutes to go, and I'll tell you what, it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen, but I would absolutely love to know what the standings are looking like at the moment after all of the provisional pit stops are completed, because this is going to be close.
I think it is. With how the last 2 rounds have gone, to be honest, it's been a far-gone domination in the 86s and the car before that, which was the Radicals. No, it wasn't the Radicals. Radicals was first. 86s was second. What was third? What was the second car? I'm trying to think. The RSR Porsche is what it was around Le Mans. So that was a month ago. Just about the limit of one commentator's memory. But it was the final 2 rounds of this racing series. Fargon absolutely dominating in both of those, with Fargon 1 and 2 as well. So I think with Stephen Rees up there in 3rd position, that's probably as good as he needs to go. And he's got the backup there of Andrew Long down there in 6th position as well. Looking back through the field, where and out on track, I think it's Michael Seal in 14th position. Omet Ohm has come a gutser along the way. She was right up there in the top 10 as well. So I don't know what's happened to her. Possibly a pit stop, maybe a long one as well, because here
the Lockie Grant punt followed by a pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there we go. The Lockie Grant punterino, followed by a pit stop. So maybe a little bit further down than she should be, but on the comeback trail. And Mr. Anderson just sitting there in front of her, just halting progress at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we're just going to see a lot of people being a little bit of a brick wall as Ohm up the inside of Anderson there at turn 2. And it looks like Nick Mello is going to pass Stephen Rees, but that's no questions asked there because of the tyre difference and whatnot. He was always going to get it done quite immediately, and he just flies by, and Steve knows that's not his race. And next up to overtake is Zach O'Reilly, which should be no problems. Team orders, you know it here, with half the race to go. And this is now just going to settle into a nice rhythm here for Nick Mello. And he has to catch McEwen and pass him. And then what about that for a strategy? That would be fantastic. Boxing and taking the lead before the others even box. He gets a pit stop over them.
A free pit stop, really.
Yeah.
But he's had to put the effort in and the, I guess, the concentration.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, maybe a bit of mental wear, but I mean, he's done this before.
Yeah, he has. And what better way to, I guess, get comfortable with the circuit than to go balls to the wall for 2 stints with a fresh set of softs on each time. And Zach O'Reilly getting the team message there as well, getting out of the way. I'll tell you what, I'd probably be asking for a bit of Oscar Piastri in maybe the final 2 rounds of this F1 season. I think if he gets any more team orders, I think he might just pull a Max Verstappen and say, no, do not ask me that again.
Are we going to see the, oh, sorry, Zach, Nick has crashed the car, you've got to crash the car to make it fair as well?
Yeah, well...
that's a car
That's
spun off in front of him.
someone off. I'm not too sure who that was.
That is, it looks like it could have been George Gardner.
Yeah.
By the looks of it here, we'll maybe find out if you can...
I can't get down there.
Yeah,
I've got to go searching down through there. It is George Gardner.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God, I'm absolutely on point today, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at my little spotting chart, and it's actually working today, ladies and gentlemen.
Well
but I think we should be expecting some pit stops soon. 19 laps is about, if my memory's serving, I think 19 laps is about what a certain someone told me these tyres start to fall off at.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these guys starting on the hards, it was pretty much the majority of the field as well. So if they were going to go for a one-stop hard-to-hard strategy, I guess now is the time. But maybe a lot of these guys may be thinking hard to soft, so they probably want to push the agenda. Maybe another 9 or 10, as many as they can, actually. But here goes Linus now into the pit lane. So he'll be serving his tyre swap for possibly another set of hards, and he will go to the end on that. First one to blink on the hards as well. So we'll maybe see where... I guess what it comes down to is when the first of the AK Racing guys pull into the pits, because that's when you'll know certainly how far those the hard tyres can go.
Yeah, and I think that, we know Mello went 20 minutes. So, yeah, they'll push it another... If they can, they'll push it another 9 minutes and then box onto softs and be good to push 100% to the end. And I think Devo will be saying that, and either he's already had the plans to do the same, or he's doing a, whenever Zach boxes, I will be doing the same, thank you very much, sort of strategy.
Yeah, Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Just wait for those guys to go.
He's got a driver program for a reason, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's
Zachary
right.
Riley.
Yeah, if you want to improve your lap times as well, folks, if you're watching, get involved in the Sensational TV Discord. Your link to join that is in the description below. And we do run Zachcelerated Driver Training School out of that Discord. So if you want to come and try and bash it out with the man on screen here at the moment, that he's available to, privy to his racing in the sim world and in the real world. That is certainly available to you guys there. But look at that, Steve Reese has closed that gap again, back down to half a second here.
Look at Nick Mello, though.
Nick Mello just about half a second as well behind Alex McEwen, and we'll probably see more team orders at it at the moment. It's a stressful job there, doing the soft to soft, because he's basically where he probably would have been if he started on the hards. It's a funny strategy call. But he is on a new set of softs here, and he will just make the pass, I assume, on the main straight and go about his merry way, setting qualifying laps for the next maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you are right in the sense that he's just going to end up where he would be if he had started hard. So then you beg the question, was the 12-second gap boxing and overtaking worth it? Maybe it's just for the fun factor. Nick Mello knows how it's going to pan out, and it's just going to be the exact same as he goes up the inside of his team at turn one. Alex McEwen backing out of that one, saying, yeah, no, thank you. I like to live as we do have a new race leader there, or a returning race leader, you could say. And now can he go 12 seconds up the road again, like he did in the first stint? But he doesn't have the same amount of tyre he would have, because he's also had a lot of lockups, which we've been privy to see at a lot of these braking zones, making these overtakes. He's had to fully go for it, and he'll continue fully going for it. And it's just going to be how he tackles it.
Yeah, well, I think he will come out again on the soft tyre when he does, and it will probably be around about the same time when McEwen comes in. So I think it's probably played into his hands. I think Nick Mello's probably got this race to lose at the moment. He will pull away to maybe, if he's going to go for another 10 seconds, he's probably lapping at around 8/10 quicker. He's probably going to have a 7-second lead or more on Alex McEwen by the time they both come into the pit lane. So, and after that, they're both going to come out on the same set of softs. So yeah, stroke of genius there from Nick Mello. In the end, it has paid off, and he will be well in front by the time they all come back into the pit lane again. Whether Alex McEwen now blinks and jumps onto that set of softs early to try and regain some of that gap, I don't know. I think it might just be just a task too strong for him to overcome here at the moment.
Yeah, and another battle that's keeping my eye, and I really want to see if someone overcuts or undercuts, is Zach and Steve-O, because they're currently 3/10 separated. They haven't been for quite a while. You've got to think someone's got to blink at some point. And I know that I said Steve-O might pull the following game, but when you're stuck behind a Chevy Camaro that takes up about 3 times the width of the track, because it's that boaty, and you're struggling to get past, you've got to think an undercut could be the play. But then how much are you going to be undercutting by like that? Then you're putting yourself into the unknown. What's Zach planning? So you got to kind of look at it two ways. Will Steve-O overcut again, like we've seen every round? Is he going to try and undercut past Zach O'Reilly, which we know would work? But then would he have enough to the end? There's so many moving parts in this strategy, in this battle, for what is P3 when push comes to shove here with 25 minutes to go. It's really interesting stuff as well. Some other drivers that have pitted, such as Nick Nitro, working their way back through the field. But this is an example of a strategy that if you box into traffic, it's not going to be all like Nick Mello's stint. Yeah, well, that's the thing as well. You want to have one eye on the relative to see, and I'm sure these guys have done their sums as well, how exactly how much time you lose when you do go and strap on a new set of boots. So if they have done those sums, they'll know exactly where they'll come out on the circuit afterwards. And looking down the order there's not that many gaps where they would probably theoretically come out. Like thinking about it now, they're probably coming out around that Lachlan Grant, Matt Double area, and there is a bit of a gap in front of Matt Double by about 7 seconds there. So they'll probably want to try and pit themselves into that gap.
But there's so many factors that come into it as well, so they might end up pitting themselves into traffic, and then that's pretty much just throwing the game away, and they may as well have just followed the guy into the pit lane to start with.
Yeah, and that is absolutely it. This strategy is going to be quite interesting here, and we've not got long to go. Realistically, I think that the pit window closes after, well, actually, I think it's after 59 minutes, so you could pit on the last lap, but can you go that long? Probably not.
No,
but,
I don't think so.
I think you've probably got another 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes before you start seeing people come in for soft tyres, and then Nick Mello will probably come in as well with about 20 minutes to go, so I think everybody's going to be back on even playing field. But Nick Mello, if he boxes at about the same time these hard runners are boxed, he's got 3 seconds, so it's not a case if he would have come out exactly where he would have been on hards. This has actually been a masterstroke for him to get such a gap. He boxes same time. This is going to work for him perfectly, and he's going to dominate this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just keeping one eye on that little gap up there at the front, and it looks to be just teetering on the about the 3.5 second range. So Mello not really putting the medal down there, although he was 9/10 quicker on that last lap. McEwen answering with as best he can, and it's the time to do it as well, because with about 20 minutes to go, we'll see McEwen probably come into the pits, and then Mello has the option of going one more lap and just pitting to cover him off, come back out on the soft tyre, and he's got himself that 3.5 to possibly 4 second advantage anyway. So as you said, Lindsay, it's been a masterstroke in the strategy department there from Nick Mello, and it's certainly his race to lose here at the moment. But we've seen weirder things happen here on Sensational TV, ladies and gentlemen. But it is the final round of the Interclub Championship. These guys are the best of the best, and they're all putting it on a pretty good show tonight. I tell you what, the driving standard's been fantastic as well. We haven't seen too many tangle ups in the grand single things. As soon as I say that, Nick Nitro just outbragging himself, almost collecting Nathan Hughes on the way into turn 2, but he didn't. We've kept the commentator curse at a 0 tonight, and that's how we want to keep it that way as well. We don't want any influence on how these guys drive, but you never know. Yeah, we have seen weirder things happen in this series and other series that we commentate on here at Sensational TV.
Yeah, I think I had a small commentator's curse during the brand new sensational broadcast Formula Fridays by Fargon Racing. Small little plug thrown in there as well at the same time, but I think I had a small one as Nick Nitro's going up the inside. Oh, holy moly, what has happened? We need a replay system in this game.
We certainly do. That was...
Because that is bizarre, and I'm sure we'll be asking questions about that one later. It looked like he flipped over, but...
Yeah, he was like...
Is that internet? Is that he's actually been flipped off into the barrier and then he's reset? Or, like, there's a billion different things that could have caused that phasing into the floor, but...
he's got a bit of damage on board now, so poor old Nathan Hughes. Yeah, that thing is banged up, absolutely. You can see the crumple zones at the front doing their job, but Nathan Hughes is going to probably have to pit for that now. I'd say he's on the hard tyre, so he started on that. It's time to chuck on the softs and get that damage fixed. You can see, oh no, he's just going to go around again. No, he doesn't. He pulls into the pit lane. Smart move there from Nathan Hughes. Stephen Rees, actually, this is on again, Lindsay. These two haven't let go of each other, and coming down into the final third of this race, we could see some fireworks here at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah, we definitely could, and now I think we have reached that sort of pit window area. This is where I expect people to start coming in, at least in the next 3 to 5 minutes from now. So this is going to be quite interesting between these two. It's going to be about who blinks first. And look at Zach O'Reilly using every bit of track, but Steve-O blinking to the left. Zach goes in. Steve-O is going to try the overcut. So this is now what we've been waiting for. Zach is going to get a significant undercut. We know what the tyre wear is like on these things, and in fact everybody else in AK Racing has come to the bits, including Nick Mello. So this is now Steve-O in the hot seat. He has to nail it, and he's already gone wide.
Oh, yeah, that's he's really, and he knows it too. It's time for the hammer to be put down, and he's sending the arse end out on that Mustang like you wouldn't believe. Look at that sliding around. He knows it's time to put the pedal to the metal and try to just eke out some sort of advantage in this overcut. But as we saw all the OK Racing guys come in, it's probably not the best thing to see because they know exactly how far those tyres are going to go. Stephen Rees chancing his arm here at the overcut. It's probably, I mean, coming into the show in the pre-game, I said to Lindsay, I said, I think the undercut is the go here at Sydney Motorsport Park. It always has been because of the amount of turns on this circuit. If you can get just one lap with a clean set of rubber, you can really make up that gap to the car that is in front or behind you at a very rate of knots. But
Longy,
yeah, Longy up the order as well. Where is he at the moment?
He's defending. He has the potential to defend from AK cars here.
Let's have a look.
Steve-O.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's on the block. He's giving it a go. I mean, McEwen's going to get him now. He's going to be defenseless, but that would have held up McEwen a little bit. And I'll tell you what, there's still more cars to catch him. Specifically, voice crack. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, Zach O'Reilly, still quite a few seconds, actually. Zach's dropped quite far back, 5 seconds off. Was he that far away?
No, he must have had a dodgy pit stop there as well.
Steve-O's in the box.
Now Steve-O's in the box. So this will be very telling to see what happened to Zach O'Reilly on his in-lap. I don't know. Let's see. Steve-O's moving as well. Let's see where he is there. You can see Zach O'Reilly coming around the turn here, and the overcut has not worked this time. There goes Zach O'Reilly splitting off into the distance. It's going to be a number of seconds by the time Steve gets out onto the circuit. Matt Double is probably going to have a look at him as well. No, it was a lapped car there getting through. But Stephen Rees just dropping about a second and a half on Zach O'Reilly. There's a couple of cars battling it out in the background there. That's Falzon and Double. Falzon getting the upper hand at the moment. It's Nick Mello still in charge of this race. 4.8 seconds. Alex McEwen coming out of the box with his set of softs on, as Nick Mello has done as well. Both of those guys boxing. Andrew Long on the hard tyre. He's probably due for a pit stop, I'd imagine, as well as Drav behind him. And Lachlan Grant just rounding out this little three-way battle pack here. All these guys need to still make their pit stop. Zach O'Reilly's the next man on the circuit, so he's in effective P3. Steve Rees in P4 as well. The timing tower doing some funny things. But Omat Ohm on the comeback trail. He's got Mitch McPherson in front and giving him the hurry up indeed up through the second sector of this circuit.
Yeah, Mitchell McPherson just defending a little bit there. Ohm showing the nose. Ohm has a good run now through the long left-hander of turn 7 and now into turn 8. Omet gets it under braking there. McPherson really didn't want to fight it, but now we see Drav and Andrew Long into the box here. 16 minutes to go, so realistically, not long, not much racing left here in tonight's racing action in the final round of the Interclub Racing Championship, and Nick Mello sits 4.7 seconds out the front with the strategical masterclass of the century, ladies and gentlemen. If he can bring this home, that would be a strategical masterclass of some degree. But there's still a lot of racing for the minor placings, and crucially, where are we looking at in the standings? I mean, you have Nick Mello, Alex McEwen, Lockie Grant's the wrong club. So Nick Mello, Alex McEwen, Zach O'Reilly, and Falzon is your 4, and then all you have is Steve-O in the mix there.
Yeah, Andrew Long down there in 8th, as well as Omat Ohm in 10th. Yeah, it's going to be very tight indeed. Hopefully we've got the English powerhouse of mathematics in the background, trying to do like a live championship update. If anyone is out there in GT Club Land or Fargon Land or AK Racing Land who know how the or Oz New Zealand Land, any of these clubs who know how the points work, can we get a live standings update in the chat? That would be lovely. Do our job for us, ladies and gentlemen, because
we might be the 2 M's, but they don't stand for mathematician, I'll tell you what.
No, that's right. We are more so good at calling the races, but when it comes down to math, I really need the old calc in front of me. Chat, if you don't know, calc is short for calculator.
Yeah, and I can't help but laugh at that.
That's a good
I'll
one.
tell you what, I've got my math assessment on Friday, and I'm absolutely bombing that thing to nowhere land. Meanwhile, will Madretsky also be bombing it heading into turn 1? No. What about turn 2? If he gets a good run here, he's trying to put the pressure on the longy, but look at that exit speed there from Trav. Absolute slingshot in towards the braking zone. You just can't brake that late in these things. You will absolutely go flying off the corner. In fact, Travis gone a little bit wide himself there. So realistically, I think the main issue of the night for a lot of these drivers trying to overtake is they're not used to these cars. They don't know how far they can push them, but also you just can't push them very far in general before they lock up. So they're showing the nose. They're trying to force mistakes. They just don't have that deft touch on the brake pedal that they would in, say, the GT86s that we had, or even the GTE car. I know that didn't have ABS, but you could still brake pretty deep in it.
Yeah, those cars, I mean, maximising the downforce possible in those sort of big, heavy Porsches. But certainly, yeah, a deft touch needed on the brakes, and that's probably where these guys are probably feeling it the most, is the confidence under brakes. Like you come slingshotting out of turn 1 here, and then there's a short run towards the braking zone for turn 2, and it's a very heavy braking zone indeed. So you don't really want to push it too hard, because you can easily lose it, lock up, and be that bowling 10-pin bowling sort of car and take out the rest of the cars in front. So it's a good go. I mean, it's a good go from most of them, to be honest, to avoid that happening. We've seen plenty of little wheel-to-wheel battles as well tonight without it coming to tears. And that's why they call it the Interclub Championship, ladies and gentlemen. It is the best 8 drivers from each of these clubs. And it's been an absolute cracking series to cover here on Simsational TV. And we are, for one, looking forward to the next installment of this series, which is coming up, well, hopefully soon enough. There are talks in the background to get this series up and running again, because it's been an absolute raging success. So congratulations to this man on screen as well, Drav Madretsky, for doing most of the organising as well behind the scenes, putting on all the liveries and getting the packs together and organising all these bloody hopeless clubs to get their liveries in on time. I tell you what, it's been hard and fast to try and get these guys organised. But I tell you what, it's been a raging success so far, Lindsay, and it's been a spectacle for all the viewers at home, I hope, as well, seeing these 4 top clubs going wheel to wheel.
Yeah, it absolutely has been. It's absolutely been fantastic stuff between everybody, even now in the dying stages. 12 minutes to go of this championship. We don't know what way it's going to go. We don't know what the points are looking like, because we're absolutely not mathematically inclined. And so we'll probably find out post-race and have to make a big hurrah announcement about it, or someone will know in the chat who was a driver, jump in when they cross the line and go, this person won and this club won and whatnot. Hopefully that would be the dream situation. But yeah, everybody putting in a stellar effort, practicing week in, week out, fortnightly series, so not a lot of turnaround, but still enough time to pump the laps in, as we know from the likes of Stephen Rees and all of those front runners. That's a brilliant move. Oh, it was nearly a brilliant move. I thought Double went up the inside and got it done, and he has, but he also kind of just bumped Barabaz out of the way. But actually, it might have been fair game. He's not setting the position, at least. He might think it's fair game. I'm not sure how to call that one. He was fairly close to the apex, but yeah, hard to call. But I think someone has shot themselves in the foot, and that man being Stephen Rees. He boxed a lap late, lost 3 seconds from a single lap because of his tyre wear, and he's closing in by a 10th maybe every lap, not even, and it's just not working for him. I think that Zachariah is going to get the number on him for this one, but yeah, not ideal for his championship prospects as well. A P3 would have been greatly appreciated, but I'll tell you who is closing down, and closing down quite quickly. Alex McEwen is closing up to the back of Nick Mello quite rapidly. That gap started about 4.7 seconds, and now it's 2.8, as this is the little battle as well. Madretsky up the inside of Nick Nitro getting that one done. But yeah, up the front, it's really heating up. McEwen's closing in at quite a rate of knots here, but this battle isn't done. Lockie Grant as well in the back of that one into turn one. He's looking for it now on the New Zealand entry, Toyota Supra. He's going to go up the inside of Nick Nitro, and he gets it done. A fantastic move. That corner takes guts to try and make a move at Nick Nitro all over the grass, trying to force a move back, as that's a lock-up from Drav, and it's a lock-up there from Lockie Grant. These drivers giving it absolutely everything out of their machinery here in this one, and they're really flying the limits of these Gen 3s, getting the full experience that AK would have been hoping they got out of these cars, their cars that they made. They are really enjoyable to drive. I think a lot of these drivers will walk away from this race a better driver for them as well, because they're so hard to drive that it just makes everything feel so easy when you get out of the cockpit of one of these things.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. You see, I mean, even in the real world, the drivers talk about the V8s being the most difficult car to wrangle around any circuit. And there's a mistake there from, who is that? Madretsky? No, it's Andrew Long. No, who was that in that car? It was a blue flagger. Got me all excited just getting out of the way there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 23.
No, Ian O'Brien.
No, I think you're right there. It is James Alexander.
There we go.
Yeah, I see Jay Alexander, and I think Jason Alexander played... what's his name? In Seinfeld. Someone help me out in the chat. Gee whiz.
I've only watched a few episodes of Seinfeld myself.
Yeah. It's just, it's escaped me. But anyway, here goes Grant up the inside of Madretsky, or around the outside, should I say, just sweeping down into turn one. Beautiful maneuver there. Madretsky doesn't have any answers for him at the moment. Grant on an absolute charge here late, and maybe a little bit of communication from the GT Club drivers internally. So look, Grant has got the pace at the moment. I'm just going to sidestep you, and hopefully he can take the fight to Andrew Long up there in sixth, who I think that overtake that he got done a couple of laps ago on Nick Nitro is going to play huge into the hands of Far Gone Racing come to the end of this race. Stephen Ray sitting there in fourth position. 7 minutes to go, mind you. Still a 2.9 second gap up there to Zach O'Reilly, who has accelerated away after that pit stop as well by about a second once he gets those soft tyres on. And I think that's probably a common sentiment too by a lot of these drivers. Do most of their lapping with the softer compound on, because it feels good to see that purple sector popping up on your screen, and it's hard to do that on the hardest compound of tyre. But look at this, Lachlan Grant right up behind Andrew Long at the moment. 6 minutes to go. Will he chance his arm down here into turn two? I don't think he's close enough this time, but there's still to go.
Yeah, I think that these drivers have not really been chancing it too much, and I think another portion of it is the fact that the slipstream really not proving to be too powerful in these things. We've been seeing them get about 7/10, and then by the end of the straight, it's about 6.5. So they're really not gaining too much from the suck as they head down the straight, realistically. And it's just not working out in the overtaking department. But I think Lockie Grant's not done, and Trav as well, only sitting a second back. Any sort of mistake or battling between these drivers could mean the difference between them getting the place or not. And there's only 6 minutes to go, so they've really got to get their pedal to the metal.
Yeah, they do. 6 minutes to go, and look at this. Alex McEwen has brought that gap down by another second by the time we've been talking about it. So this could turn into a little battle here for the win of the final round. I think the points are inconsequential for AK Racing, because either one, if they go 1 or 2, still bank the same amount of points. But that risk of those guys maybe just coming together start to amplify as this race comes to a close. 5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Lachlan Grant still on the back of Andrew Long back there as well. Stephen Rees just closing the gap by about half a second too on Zach O'Reilly, and I think this could be something for Fargon to really know. I'd love to know how much they need to win by. I'm trying to do sums in the background, but I'm struggling to make sense of this.
I tried.
Yeah, of this This thing that Drav sent me makes no sense at all. I don't know how many points even goes to the winner.
One you sent through earlier?
Yeah, that's all I've been given.
I
37 points to the winner? I don't know.
No, okay, hold on.
Hard to say.
Let's read it out loud here. So, in round 1, Stephen Race won, and he got 36 points.
Yeah.
But then in round 2 and round 3, he
got 37
points. Did he get fast lap, or is that a pole position point? Or
who knows?
I don't know. All I know is he's 30 points clear of Alex McEwen in the championship, and there's not 30 points between the places that they're in.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. If he finishes where he is, he should win the drive. I know for a fact,
he will win the Drivers'
Championship.
Championship.
At the moment, he's winning the Drivers. But the club champion, mate, absolute Buckleys.
Your guess is as good as mine. We're going to have to wait until the official standings come out. Drav is in control of those, so we'll find out them hopefully later tonight. And look at that. Yeah, that gap is right down now to half a second. And these two guys for AK Racing battling it out for dick swinging potential here at the end of the race here. Teammates in the Gen 3 Supercars, the Project 4 guys, usually rocking the Farmers Union iced coffee liveries, now under the OK banner, and they're going to battle it out now with 3.5 minutes to go. That equals maybe one more, 2, 3, or 3 more laps, depending on where they are when they.
They've got more than 10 seconds in this lap, so two laps.
2 laps to go here, and it's all come down to this. McEwen certainly has the pace, but has Mello just been maybe biding his time, smoking his pipe, and conserving those tyres for the inevitable battle that he knew he was going to have on his hands here in the dying stages of this race?
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, he's been the strategical wizard all night, but it just seems unlikely that McEwen cruises up to the back so quickly, because Mello wasn't particularly going slowly, even though he did have softer tyres. Still, he had to have the pace to do what he did. But it's all going to come down to this, and I mean, these two, they are no strangers to battling. They might be, in quotation marks, teammates, but I'll tell you what, when they're out there on the track, one-on-one, in the Gen 3 Supercars, they don't race like it. They give it absolute hammer and tong. They have all the track ego in the world. And now they're going to be absolutely going for it again for all the pride here for the to be the golden child of AK Racing here between Nick Mello and Alex McEwen, and that gap now only 0.2 of a second. This is going to be a very classic Gen 3s. That takes us back a few months at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while, but the memory bank is clouded as well, because we've had some fantastic racing here on the channel. Just recently, we've seen the big bangers go around this Sunday, and that was some of the best racing we've seen, and best looking cars I've ever seen on the old broadcast as well, going back to 1982 or 83 or 4, whenever the XE and VK Commodores reigned supreme out there. But look at this, Alex McEwen right up under the rear wing now, going into turn 9, 10 and 11. We're going to see how he just takes this and sets up the overtake. That's all you want to do. You want to be right under that rear wing and try and get the slingshot out of this final turn. It's all about feathering on the throttle and getting on there without the rear tyres lighting up, because that's when you lose time. You can see a little bit of rubber banding in the server there. That's disconcerting for all concerned here in the in the Gen 3 Supercars. But Nick Mello just missing the apex by about a car's width. Oh, a little bit of contact there. What happened there? I don't know if that was server issues, but Nick Mello has had a bit of a helping hand down there into turn 2. Locked him up, managed to gather it up, and I think Alex McEwen knew he's probably at fault for the excess closing speed of Nick Mello down there into turn 2, and just got off the anchors and did not try to take any advantage of that little bump and run there. But now it's play on, and they are rubbing and racing just like they should here with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, this is the last lap of the race, and now they're heading into the final portion of racetrack that they have. This is to decide the win here in the Interclub Championship, the final round of the championship. Who's going to come home victorious between Nick Mello and Alex McEwen? They've already made contact on this final lap, and now there's only a few corners to go through turn 8. They're still going at it. Alex McEwen, though, struggling to find a way past. It's blue versus red here inside the AK Racing team, as they head towards turn 9s, 10 and 11. It's going to be a last-ditch effort here if Alex McEwen can get it done. He gets underneath, though. He has a good run, but this final corner is not one that's made for overtaking, but now off the exit, he gets a slingshot. We saw a drag race here to the line in real life, but it's not going to go that way. Here in the final round of the Inter-Club Racing Championship, Nick Mello crosses the line to win in Sydney Motorsport Park. Nick Mello take a bow. Alex McEwen finishing 2/10 behind. It was a monumental effort to close up, but Nick Mello, with the strategical masterclass of his life here around Sydney Motorsport Park, takes the cake, takes the P1 trophy, and he will be delighted.
Yeah, he'll be loving that, taking pride away from his teammate there as well. Had the strategic advantage as well. So done his sums before the race. Congratulations to Nick Mello on the drive. Certainly showed him how it was done. But I'll tell you what, another couple of laps and Alex McEwen might have found a way through because he certainly had the pace at the end. But as we've said a million times on the channel there, it is one thing to close up behind the car in front, and it's another thing entirely to overtake. We want to thank Scallywagon there for the $10 donation. We want to thank Tash Bandicoot as well for the 20. You guys are the best. We keep the lights on here at Sensational TV, so thank you very much. Our man Zach O'Reilly crosses the line for P3. I think he'll be slightly disappointed with that as well, Lindsay. I reckon he probably thought P1 was on the cards, and so did everyone at home as well. Maybe a little bit underdone in the practice department as well, when the guys like Stephen Rees have done over 300 laps practice. I'm sure the two guys at the front did their fair share as well, but Stephen Rees crossing the line for Fargon Racing in 4th position. Matt Falzon up there in P5. Beautiful effort from him. The dark horse, the Flying Maltese Falcon, doing it proud for AK Racing as well down there in 5th position. Andy Long, the long man, Longy, the number 33, bright pink, can't miss him, crossing the line in 6th position. Lachlan Grant jumping the fence for GT Club and closing in 7th position. Drav Madretsky, give him a clap, ladies and gentlemen at home. He has put on this series, and what an absolute cracking series it has been. We can't wait for the next one, Lindsay Muddle. We've been told there might be a 5th club being added. Well, there is. Yeah, there is a 5th club being added to the roster. So. For everyone playing at home, it might be the newly formed Sensational Esports team making their debut in the next Inter-Club Racing Championship. So we're looking forward to that one indeed. Nick Nitro, the first Oz-New Zealand man across the line in that Supra, looking fantastic as well. I love their livery scheme that they've done this whole season. They've themed it up to the max, and it's very tough between them and Fargon. Some of the liveries that they have both produced have been unbelievable. Matt Double rounding out the top 10 for GD Club. I do like the zebra skin, but I tell you what, it's doing my eyesight as some sort of I don't know what it is, some sort of when you look in those magic eye 3D bloody things, it makes my eyes go funny.
Yeah, so you see the age difference here means I can't relate.
Yeah, I need my glasses on to cut through the noise there. I'm sure they would have looked great when I was 20 years old as well. But let's get through this order here.
Younger than that, mate.
Jason, well, you are, man. It's 20 years. You're more than half my age. It's Jason McFadden down there in 11th position. Lindsay, let's take us through the rest of the field, and we'll go through them quick before they all leave the server.
Yep, so you have McFadden 11th, McPherson in 12th, Ohm in 13th, then you have Linus in 14th, then you have Chris O'Neill and the Underwater Mammal in 15th and 16th, then you have Barabas in 17th, then you have Mark Knowles, Ryan Anderson, Gray Ward, Alexandra Ford, Georgie Gardner, and Ian O'Brien is 24th position as we now go back to get the rest of them, but they've left the server, so I think we have to wait for it to tick over, and then it might tell us.
Yeah,
it's
it
not gonna
will.
tick over, is it?
No, it's not going to do that for quite some time. But maybe next season we can tell everyone to stay in the server.
We do know, at least, penalties not being involved here, Stephen Rees should be a drivers' champion. That's the one thing I can say for certain. So, as much as it is an inter-club championship, individual glory definitely still present. And Steve-O won 3 out of the 4 races. So that was fantastic stuff from him to take home the championship. When it comes to the club championship, I'll tell you what, we should know here in the Sensational TV commentary box, but we're absolutely shitless out of clues.
Yeah, it's been trying to decipher that racing board, the points table. I think you need a degree in some sort of
engineering.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So we're just going to sit tight and wait for that. Tash Bandicoot says with only 2 of the Fargon races in the top 10, she reckons AK Racing have it. But I think there was...
That's not how it works, because then you only do the top 4 from each club, but then it cuts out in order. So if it was a Fargon Racing... hold on. Sorry. If it's AK Racing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but then 9, 10, 11, 12, etc., 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 right? For Fargon, they get the points for P5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. Yeah, so
it's really weird, guys. This is why we can't do it.
Yeah, it's very hard to work out on the fly, even before the fly. If you need, you need a calc, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just.
Zach has jumped into the.
Yeah, he has. He's sucked in Lindsay. Funny
he won
stuff.
The championship, Zach. And do we want to talk about Mills Metro Park?
No, we don't. We're going to go straight on to. I mean, how do you times 5,000 by 3? You need a calc. There's no way you can do it on your own. I'm sure there's geniuses out there who know how to do arithmetic on the fly, but you certainly need a calc to work out the standings here. Well done, all. Good races, Ben Hines. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will post the results on our socials later on. We do have a Facebook, we've got a Instagram and a TikTok as well. So all those links are down in the video description below. Follow us to get all the updates on when the results on this championship drop, because I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm sure as all you guys are at home as well. So we will find out that, and we'll convey that that information to you guys as soon as that drops. But in the meantime, it's been an absolutely fantastic series to call, especially with you, Lindsay, in the hot seat. We've seen trials, tribulations. We've seen a Fargon dominance in most of the rounds. AK Racing pulling out their wild card at the end. But will it be enough? You'll have to tune in to our socials later on tonight, where we will post the final results. And who takes the chocolates? It'll be hard to say until that happens. Tash Bandicoot says, thank you, Simsation. No, we thank you. Thank you for tuning in. If it isn't for all the people at home tuning in, there's no point us doing this. I don't like talking to the brick wall. I love it when we have a nice, diverse audience, which we do here at Sensational. We love all you guys, and it's been a fantastic. It's been a fantastic English spectacle here in the commentary box, Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, it has been a really, really fun championship to call, and thank you everyone for coming along. But Munro, seeing as you struggled with the outro last week, I'm going to leave it to you again, because you put me on the spot for the intros.
Yeah, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in on Wednesday night when we are back here on Sensational with round 2 of the Wednesday Cup here in the Formula Fords. It's shaping up to be a fantastic round. Those little cars are something else to drive, and tell you what, on track, they race wheel to wheel like you would not believe. So we're going to see all the action coming to you in round 2 from Lauschitz Ring over there in the land of Germany. So the DTM layout, and from all reports, the drivers are loving that circuit. So it's going to be fantastic racing there on Wednesday night. So we will all see you there. But for now, it's time to tune out. As my usual co-commentator would say, thank you all for tuning in. My name is Chris Munro, and you are not... I'm certainly not Zach O'Reilly, that's for sure, when it comes to the outros. But you can all trust me when I say it's time to leave, and keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.